Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the event. Tonight, we are going to be talking about how to hold one of these damn things, the microphone, this funny looking contraption thing, the thing that gets handed to you when you're at events sometimes. They say, would you like to say a couple of words? The problem is, you're not very used to holding one of these things. So when you get them, you don't know what to do with it. And then you start looking funny and you kind of wiggle your hands around and all these little different things. If that is your issue, I am here to help today. Today, we are going to be demystifying how to hold the microphone and how to do it the proper way so that you can amplify your voice properly and not make this thing a distraction for the audience, because a lot of people tend to hold this device incorrectly. As an MC, a performance artist, a communications coach, and a speaker, one of the luxuries of my life is I fortunately get to have more exposure towards this device, and I'd like to share with you some of my findings around how to hold this microphone properly so that you can succeed on stage and seem more confident and speak with more clarity, okay? Don't let this thing take away the power away from you. It should actually empower you instead. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing about the microphone is that we need to understand how it works. The microphone's got a microphone head, right? And it's got a bunch of different chips in there, and it connects wiring to the speaker. The speaker amplifies our voice, and then we get to speak louder and more people can hear us. That is a good thing. The way it works though is that the microphone head actually has a surface, right? So this kind of like, I'd say the peak, maybe the crown, to be honest with you, I don't really know what it's called. This is the part where it maximizes the amplification of your voice. So a tip for you today is a lot of people tend to hold the microphone incorrectly in the wrong position. And the two positions that people tend to hold the microphone incorrectly are one of two. Number one, it's here. When you put the microphone below your mouth like this, we have to understand that when we speak, sound waves, right? Vibrational frequencies emit forward. And if they're not projected forward, you want to make sure those vibrations are getting collected in the right position. So the microphone is here, it's only going to get a fraction of the volume that you're projecting. Now, you know, the next mistake that people make is they know about this, but then they put it here. And when they put it here, it's still not an optimal angle, because if I turn my head like this, right? My voice is going this way, your microphone is here. You could put it here and match it, but the issue is your face is now getting covered, your beautiful face. We want to see your wonderful facial expressions connect with the audience. This is a bit of a mindset thing too. Oftentimes when we're nervous, we tend to cover our faces. So this microphone sometimes is a perfect way to cover our face. We don't want to do that, okay? So the mitigation, the solution to this is to hold the microphone at a 45-degree angle, okay? This 45-degree angle is wonderful because it actually, right, still collects our voice here at this position without any problems, but it still reveals our face. That's the first tip. The second thing that we got to evaluate is how far do we want to have the microphone, you know, to our mouths. Should we kiss it?
You're too close, man. You're too close, man.
No, we shouldn't. There are situations when you might want to do that. I'll share that with you in a moment. But generally, you want this thing to be about 6 to 8 inches away from your face, like so. And the reason for that is because the way the microphone works is as it gets closer to your face, or your lips rather, it starts to collect more bass resonance. And that's not bad if you're trying to make this really deep roaring announcement. Like sometimes I'll hold the mic and I'll play around with the volumes and say things like, I'd like everybody to be back here in 20 minutes. We're gonna have a quick short break and then we'll see you soon, right? It's a way to change the quality of your voice. But if we're speaking what we call the modal quality, which is just a speaking voice, you want to have a neutral position. You want that 6 to 8 inches away, okay? So let's review this. 45 degrees, right, like this, 6 to 8 inches, okay? The only exception to this is when the volume levels of the sound system are way too low. So if you have access to something like a mic check to check the sound levels, definitely check if the sound system is loud enough. If they're not loud enough and you're kind of just giving the microphone out of the blue, you can point it closer to your, you know, to your lips.
It's illegal.
It's not illegal to do that. I've been at events where truly the sound levels were so low, like this position would have been way too quiet. I moved it closer. The other people kind of still kept it far, couldn't hear them, right? Some of them also did this. That's not a good thing. Okay, let's move on. When you hold the microphone this way, what you might find yourself doing is, this is especially true of inexperienced mic holders, because you're not used to holding this device, oftentimes you'll actually just forget that you're holding this thing. And so what'll end up happening is you'll start to pivot away and you'll start to gesture and then you'll do all these things, right? Now this, all of a sudden it becomes like this weird baton looking thing. It starts to get really distracting. This is the reason why inexperienced mic holders tend to they start to look really distracted. It also accentuates your nervousness, because rather than fidgeting this way, now you're actually fidgeting with an object. That's not good. It's also not good because, well, as we talked about, the way that the microphone collects sound is that it has to stay consistent, right? With this peak here. And so if you're moving the mic away, right, you're going to start changing the volume of your voice, right? Or even worse, it's just straight up not going to collect your voice, and you've been literally left with this thing here, right? So try to focus on holding your microphone right in this position. And so we talked about the 6 to 8 inch thing away. When you're talking, you're obviously going to be moving around, right? So I want you to think about your elbow as a mic stand. So if you're holding it this way, if I tilt my head, the elbow's gotta move, right? It's gotta move this way. Think about this invisible line that connects your mouth with the microphone this way, boom. Okay, so this is really important. Now your other hand can be used to gesture, right? I'm right hand and I gesture to my left, so forth. You can do it this way, that's totally fine as well, okay? So this is really, really important. Advanced tactic, if you are somebody with a very boisterous voice, or if you're about to yell, right? Think about, as you get more experience with this, you can move the mic away, right? Singers do this a lot. As they're belting, they move the mic away from their mouth. This is an advanced tactic. If this is something you're not used to, or especially if you're already very nervous speaking on stage, don't worry about this too much. This is just kind of food for thought, okay? So now we've got that. We wanna make sure you're not fidgeting too much with this. And that's about it. So to recap, the key to holding a microphone is to, number one, make sure it's at a 45-degree angle. Number two, think of your elbow as a mic stand, right? As you move, there is an invisible rope, a line that kind of draws that mouth to microphone connection this way. You don't want to fidget. And that, my friends, is how you hold a microphone like a seasoned professional. So next time you have the opportunity to hold one of these things, I want you to remember some of these tips so that you can seem more professional rather than somebody who is inexperienced on stage. The microphone should never detract away from the speaking experience. It should only enhance it. So good luck out there, and I'll see you next time.